Hi everyone, I am making this video to present to you guys our business that we interviewed for our subject ACC407 lectures by Dr. Nurhayati binti Abdul Samad. In this video, I would like to introduce Gula Gula Bakery, a bakery that celebrates the joy of freshly made, high quality baked goods. First of all, our group consists of 4 people, namely me, Daniel Hanis Afiq bin Jasmine Yusmaini, Nurin Dalila binti Sayuti, Ayu Shakila binti Ramli, and Nur Nadira Balkisha binti Saiful Azlan. For this presentation, I will explain the overall content of our project. First, the introduction will briefly explain the background of this business. Next, the business characteristics will describe the type of business, its activities, and how it operates. Then, the classification of business items will explain how assets, liabilities, capital, income, and expenses are identified in the business. After that, the recording process of the business will show how transactions are recorded, including the basic accounting procedures used. We will also discuss the strength and weakness of the recording process to identify what works well and what can be improved. Finally, the conclusion will summarize the key points of the presentation and provide an overall review of the business recording process. That is all for the content of this presentation. Now, let's move to the next one. Gula Gula Bakery is owned by Nurul Hidayah binti Muhammad Hidayat, together with a business partner, Muslimah Catering. Gula Gula Bakery produces a variety of bakery products such as bread, desserts, cakes, and other baked goods. The manufacturing process takes place at Shop House located in Hill Park, Puncak Alam. Currently, the products are sold at a shop provided by UITM with an ownership cost of 5,000 per year. All production equipment, including mixers and baking tools, is provided by Muslimah Catering. The business employs 5 workers who work on a rotational schedule. Operating hours are from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Moving on to the business characteristic of Gula Gula Bakery. For this slide, I will explain the business characteristic of Gula Gula Bakery, which operates as a partnership business. In terms of the source of capital, the capital is contributed by the partners based on the partnership agreement. Regarding ownership, the business is owned by 2 to 20 partners. In terms of assistance, the partnership is not a separate legal entity. For liability, the partners have unlimited liability, meaning they are responsible for the business debts. In terms of management and control, the business is managed by the partners. For profit sharing, profits and loss are shared according to the partnership agreement. Lastly, regarding books and accounts, the partnership is not required to keep proper books of accounts.
Moving on onto the classification of the business item in Gula Gula Bakery, we have got an information regarding asset, liability, capital, expenses, and revenue. First and foremost, we have got a non-current asset. And what is a non-current asset? A non-current asset usually have more than 1 year for its useful life, and it is usually not for resale, and it is used in to running the daily business transaction. For example, tangible non-current asset, and its physical existence can be seen and touched. In Gula Gula Bakery, we have do some analysis, and for its non-current asset, we have got chiller, oven, mixer, and also the wafer maker. So what is a current asset and revenue? A current asset have a less than 1 year for its useful life, and it is so easily converted into cash, and it is also easy to transform it. For revenue, it is actually a cash inflow from the sale of goods and services. For Gula Gula Bakery, they usually sell their products such as pastry, dessert, cookies, bread, and other things that are related to the bakery things. They are also offering an opportunity to other people to place their product on that shop. For example, ice cream and chocoja. So, for the liability is the resources borrowed by the business from other parties, such as bank or other third party. However, when we are doing an interview to the owner itself, the owners admit to us that the Gula Gula Bakery doesn't have any liability because they paid all of the payment on time. Owner equity is equal to capital, and capital means resources or funds supplied by the owner to the business for acquisition of asset. While we are doing an interview to the owner itself admits that they have brought in some money and machinery that they own to operate these businesses. Last but not least is expenses. Expenses is the cash outflow or cost of asset consumed or services used in the process of earning revenue. So the Gula Gula Bakery on itself admit to us that they have to pay for the worker salary for every week, and they also need to pay for the rental expenses for every month. So that's all the information that we have got while we are interviewing the owner itself, which is the Gula Gula Bakery owners, regarding the classification of the business item.
Next, let's continue with the recording process of Gulgul Bakery, which is include the classifying, recording, summarizing, and interpreting process. First of all, let's start with the recording process used in this business, which is done manually. First, this process starts with classifying. In this step, transactions are separated and grouped according to their types, such as sales, cash payments, QR payments, and inventory movement. Source documents are also organized properly before any recording is done. Next is the recording stage. Daily sales are manually recorded using a cash register. Inventory is recorded whenever items enter or leave the store, and each product is recorded daily based on the quantity sold. After that, we move to summarizing process. In Gula Gula Bakery, they summarize their recording process data is they combine it into daily or periodic summaries. These include total sales, total inventory usage, and overall payment summaries. This step ensures that all transactions are properly compiled for reporting purposes. The next step is interpreting. The summaries are analyzed to understand the business performance. This helps the business identify sales trends, stock requirements, and the overall financial position. The reports can also be shared with online store management. Lastly, we can see that the last process of the recording process at Gulu Gulu Bakery at Dahlia is the finance team reviews the reports. These reports are used to support decision making in the business. So this manual recording process help the business track transaction, manage inventory, and evaluate overall performance effectively. Let's continue with the Gula Gula Bakery strengths and weaknesses. Let's move on to the explanation of the business strength. The first strength that been stated by the owner herself is that this business is easily accessible for students. This is because it is convenient for students to visit the bakery, especially because it is located nearby the Dahlia College. The second strength of the business is that there is not much competition from other competitors in the area. This is because it is the only bakery in the area which gives the business an advantage over others. Overall, these strengths help the business attract more customers and maintain a stable market position. Next, I will explain about the weakness of the business itself. The first weakness is that the recording process is still done manually. This makes the process slower and less efficient compared to using a digital system. Secondly, the weakness is that some transactions may be forgotten in the books. This usually happens during busy periods when there is a high volume of orders at the same period of time, of customers who walked into the Gula Gula bakeries. The third weakness is that the business is prone to human errors. Manual recording increases the risk of mistakes such as miscalculation or missing records, or forgot to record any transaction, if either it is from QR payments or cash payments. Overall, these weaknesses can affect the accuracy of financial records and the efficiency of daily operation.
In conclusion, we can conclude that the baking process requires specific ingredients and proper equipment to ensure consistent quality and taste. Maintaining quality and uniformity is essential in bakery production. That's all from us. We hope that this video can help us in a way to get A in ACC407. Thank you.